What's going on, B1 family? It's your boy Big Dick. Welcome back to my Black Universe. Today, in this one, I'm gonna start doing shorter videos since I'm trying to do a full hour of what I got going on at one time and how much I have going on. It ain't working. I'm not able to give it to you consistently, so we're gonna do it in 10-minute pockets, right? 10, maybe 20 minutes. However, we guys have seen what's been going on in the Black universe from across the seas to what's going on in the states. And one of the things that a lot of people don't like to tackle is the church. You know, your whatever your affiliation is or your affinity for the church is, you have to admit a lot of these so-called pastors are showing their hands. Now we're going to come from a different standpoint because this brother has something to say about the church. Deontay Kyle, even though we see now he's a Democratic shield, he did make a comment about Jesus being in the way of what we need to do. And a lot of folks said a lot of things thereafter. So let's get into it.
Y'all would stop talking about the black church and talk about Jesus is getting in the way if you understood the pivotal role that the black church played in the civil rights movement and that the black church is the reason why you can't sit up here and talk the stuff that y'all talk.
Keyword played, past tense. But we're gonna let him cook.
Your ancestors were Christians. Idiots. It's popular to not be a Christian. It's popular for black people to say that you've been brainwashed. And it's popular to say all of these things because y'all not doing real research. Black church, our church, played a pivotal role in the emancipation of the black people today. We did that. The black church did that. You have rights because of the black church. So stop acting like the black church is holding you back. No, the black church is the reason why you're able to have some of the liberties that you do today.
All right, real quick, people and family. Real quick, real quick. He's right to a point. You can't say that about the current state of the church. The current state of the church is sorry. Let's just be honest. The current state of the church is a far cry from what it needs to be, and there were things put in place by the dominant society to make sure that happened, like the faith-based initiative. The implementation of the faith-based initiative involves government partnering with faith-based organizations to address social issues, which includes creating frameworks to provide them with federal funding and support. Be one family. You and I both know whoever's putting money in your pocket is whoever you're going to listen to. You're going to acquiesce to their demands. So if the federal government, the same federal government that killed Malcolm, that killed Martin, that killed Medgar Evers, that they killed all of our prominent men and women, was trying to kill Assad Shakur. If that same government is putting money in your pocket to quote address social issues, what you gonna say about the lynching of black men, like what's still happening today in Alabama and Mississippi? What you gonna say about our young brother down in Texas, who a sister went on to Reeks Live and on TikTok and expressed how she saw the video and the reason why no one can go back and see it because some dumbass, probably one of these gossips or one of these little tether sites, was trying to get in there and record it, and so they shut it down. Frisco was like, "Yeah, we not letting y'all see it," and it was up to 4 people jumping on that brother. But when Tariq uploads it, you can catch that because I called it live. So when you have these going on, that's the reason why your church don't talk about it, because they know from whence cometh their help. The government, Hey, here, here, let me break you off some. Film that Bentley is expensive. Filling up that Rolls is expensive. Maintain that lifestyle. Yeah, you sitting on 2,000, 3,000 thread count sheets, sitting on all kind of exotic materials now. You're gonna be kind of shh. The church was the hub for black empowerment. That's where it all happened. Once they figured it out, they figured out a way to neutralize that. The problem was that the ministers went along with it. And it's been, for lack of a better term, it's been a shit show ever since. How much of a shit show, Victor?
Bentley that I park in the church is not just for me, it's for this Bentley that I park in the church is not just for me, it's for the church, it's for us. Can we drive it? No, God wouldn't want that in Jesus' name.
Can we drive it? No. Well, I thought it was for us. I thought it was for us. Question. I just realized that does this brother have a bedazzled cross in the back? Like I said, the sorry state of the church right now. This brother got on. I didn't realize how many chains he had on when I clipped this. One, two, three, four, five, six, and a choker. And a choker. Okay. Now this is the most prominent one. This is the one that went viral.
I, Roberta McCoy, given faith and stand in unity with the vision of perfecting church of sowing this seed of.
Hold on. Look at his body language, B1 family. When he looks at it. Don't mind what she's saying. Listen, look at him. Listen to the body language.
Given faith and stand in unity with
the
vision of perfecting church.
The body language says it all. Now, mind you, look at these empty seats. See, the reason why the young folk ain't coming around is because they see through this BS. The church used to be the hub. It got co-opted by the government. They found a way to get in there and appease to the pastors or stroke their egos, line their pockets with all these initiatives, with all these things that they want. Because a lot of them really just want a posh lifestyle via the church. They want the church to pay for it. And so you get young folk that realize I'm not getting nothing out of the church. You know what the church should have did instead of buying into the faith-based initiative? Because I talked to my father, and no, I didn't realize hand gestures was on. So I was talking to my father about, hey, you were a plumber. There was brothers that were HVAC. There was brothers that were carpenters and electricians. How come y'all didn't get us in the folk in the neighborhood? And I'm talking about Eastland Church of Christ. I'm saying names because I want all the smoke. This was over 25 years ago. I was 15 at the time. 16 at the time, actually. I'm 41. So how come y'all didn't get us then? And on Saturdays, get us and the young men in the neighborhood. Because Eastland is right around the street from Stop 6. Church of Christ. Over there off of, it's not Raymond. Over there off, not Vaughn. It's not Vaughn. Off of Berry. How come y'all didn't get us and teach us? We had mechanics at church. How come y'all didn't get us and teach us how to turn wrenches? You know how great the neighborhood, the church would be if they would have did that instead of allowing the government to go in and co-opt the church. It'd be, oh my, we probably would have had reparations some 20 odd years ago because we would have had the young men instead of them out there saying, okay, well, I got to sling dope because that's all I see. They worked on, we can bring, hey, my mama car ain't running right, bring it to the church. Great, we got something to work on, young man. Now the skills we done taught you, the basics. Let's get into some advanced stuff. Let's get into the head gaskets. Let's get into the timing. Let's get into the transmission repair. Let's get into that. Now you have a place where folks saying, okay, cool, I can come here and get some skills and go and start building a life and a family. Is everybody gonna stay at your church? No. But you're gonna have people who have loyalty to the church, that particular church, because you're like, hey, y'all the reason why I'm able to feed my family. Y'all the reason why my mom don't have to work 2 jobs no more. Y'all the reason why I don't have to go out there and sling dope. Y'all the reason why, because y'all took the men were being, quote, used by God and gave us skill sets. They taught us the tricks of the trade early. We 15 and 20. We're 15 by the time we 20. Oh, we're forced to be reckoned with. And some of us probably would have went on and said, okay, we're going to create a construction company. Or we're going to create a shop. We're going to open up a shop in the hood. So instead of these houses just being dilapidated. Boom, we can buy these houses up and fix them up ourselves and build up our neighborhoods, build up our communities like we had done before. The black folk, black my FBA family, we did so much in house, and I'm talking about from what my father experienced. There was so much we everybody had chickens, everybody had this or that. And if you didn't have it, you know, a neighbor that did it, you bartered, and we kept it in house. Once we started taking our talents outside the communities, we started outsourcing our abilities, the black community crumbled. Because what happened? They take the factories out of the neighborhoods, Detroit. They take the warehouses out. So now you got to travel to work. You got to buy a car. You got to go further. And that's if it was in the same city, or a neighboring city, or even in your state. So now you have to uproot the community and send it on. So I'm gonna let this finish. I'm gonna let this finish, family. I grew up Church of Christ. I've seen it firsthand. So if I seem overly passionate about it, that's because I've experienced it.
Sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participated.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do.
I would say appreciate you. Notice you don't really see a lot of men at the church. You've heard it said before, you hear it again. Because man to man, you do that to me, I'ma look at you crazy. No snatching my check, bro. Hey man, I'm cool. I could do something else with that money. That's a lot of groceries. That's even more gas. Y'all ain't listening to me. Let's continue. Yeah, that's that nonsense. You see, it's a lot of old folk in the church. Yes, the church is dying off, and for good reason. And see, when the church does this, that's how you get comedians taking full advantage of it.
I'm your pastor. Of course the sermon feels like a sneak diss. I would say it to your face, but you sit way in the back, and you're late. I'm your pastor. Of course I'm gonna make sure that collection plate gets passed around a few times. I'm your pastor. Of course some of the babies in the congregation look like me. I don't got nothing to do with me, that's just God. I'm your pastor. Of course when times are hard, I go out of town and start performing miracles. Gotta keep the lights on at the church somehow. I'm your pastor. Of course I was a street dude, but God saved me and showed me a better way to get money. I mean, use my talents. I'm your pastor. Of course your mom tells me all your business. I'm your pastor. Of course I got my gun on me. The Lord is my shepherd and he told me to keep that 5. I'm your pastor. Of course I live in a mansion. Where else would I live? God has blessed me. I'm your pastor. Of course I'm selling tickets to heaven. Now did you want to pay credit or debit? We also accept cash. I'm your pastor. Of course if I don't know what to say in the prayer, I'm just gonna start speaking in tongues. Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying, like, he ain't the only one. He ain't the only one. When you do fugazi stuff and under the guise of being a servant of God, well,
that's only $1,200. No, see, y'all not listening to what I'm saying. I said 1,000 plus 1,000 plus. I don't want what you can afford to give. I want everything you got.
Well, Pastor, I'm going to go home and try to scrape
Go
together
do
some
that.
more.
Go on, sit down somewhere. What the hell am I supposed to do with $1,200? Matter of fact, take the $1,200 and go buy you some new outfits. I'm tired of seeing you walk around here in that same dress every Sunday.
Here go my donation, Pastor.
What the hell? Didn't I tell y'all? Don't send your kids up here if they ain't bringing no more than a 50. Take the little dollar, get your little ass back in the seat. Y'all about to make me pull a Marvin Sapp in here. Deacons, close the doors, lock them. Take everybody car keys. Everybody pull out your wallets. If you don't have cash, Pull out your debit or your credit cards. We coming around with the tap. You wanna leave? You pay the fee. I don't think it's free to get in heaven, no. This new mega church ain't getting built if y'all holding out. You're being cheap. Coming up here with 12 funky $100 dollars. That's only.
No, look. They say the truth is told in jest. Be one family, and I'm not gonna say we got to do better because they know we. It's certain Negroes. If play this for your grandparents. Let me say this. I'm gonna be respectful. I'm not gonna curse nothing. We see the abuse you've dealt with over the years. Been made to feel like everything you've done, quote, to be serving for God has never been enough. And it's always come through the eyes of a particular man, whether it's the old pastor or the new one. And all he is man. He got to stand in judgment just like you do. We not going for it. But we love you, though. Play the fool. Because we're not going for it, family. We not going for it. I'm going to let this sister cook, and then we're going to wrap the video, fam.
Hey, people want to say.
Hold on, fam. I got to deal with my son again. Because I told him to be quiet.
And take them to. I think maybe that might. I want that for food, but I think that's where your friend might work. I mean, go to church. Heart song
No.
is not.
64.
Oh, it's on 64. Lady told me to come back. They start at 11, so I think right now.
One second. Get him making me dress.
Get them out the house for a moment so you can do what you want to do.
Yeah, we do what I need to do because I'm still in the middle of recording.
Yeah, come back. Go at least for an hour. Come back. Chill out. Go ahead.
That's why I don't go live, family. If y'all want to know why I don't go live, I don't go live because I'm gonna have to deal with a gang of interruptions. Gonna mess up the flow. That's why I don't go live. Now, once I'm able to get a small office somewhere where I can go and do my thing for an hour or two, I'll start going live. I just can't do it in this house. Lord of mercy. Lord of mercy. Let's let this sister cook. And I'm leaving this in too. I'm leaving this in. Oh.
Hey, people want to say, give it more context, give it more context. Y'all just saying y'all upset because he didn't want to accept $1,285 from the lady who stood up, but show the whole video. Don't watch the whole video. It's worse. It's worse. This pastor basically said, I'm gonna line y'all up from who donated the most to who donated the least.
That's already a problem. Because why are you trying to shame me in the church? Most older folk on SSI, they're on disability or they retired. That means they're on a fixed income. Let me say it again. They're on a fixed income. You know, got to do the third time Umar style. They're on a fixed income. Fixed. It ain't getting no bigger. It ain't supposed to get smaller. It's right there. It's fixed.
He literally said, for y'all who only want to donate 85 cents, I'm going to get to y'all later too. He wanted the people from who donated the most to the least in order so they could call out their contributions and either be praised or judged.
You're embarrassing me. You're humiliating. You're humiliating me. This is why your grandson, your granddaughter don't want to go to church. Because they're not going to stand or sit for the humiliation. They, especially these young brothers, they might get up there and put hands on that man. They're not finna sit for it. But that's the church. The pivotal role the church played past tense, like I said before. Back 30, 40 years ago, actually longer than that, about 60, yeah, about 60 years ago, because my dad was born in 63. So about 60 something years ago, yes, the church was man, the hub, the spiritual hub, and the social justice hub for the black community. But now it's a circus where they would gladly and jovially embarrass you in front of your peers. Ain't no way you feel I'm gonna let you do that to me. That's some high school shit. That's some high school shit. I am not letting you embarrass me. I got bills to pay. I got debts to. I'm trying to keep a credit score up so I can go and get these go and look good in front of these creditors to possibly get a loan to expound and expand what I'm doing to possibly give more as a younger man. But you're not gonna embarrass me and have me give my last. Now I'm stuck out. I got 3 kids. Yeah, I heard my oldest is a teenager. Every year afterward, pretty much, I'm gonna have a new teenager. I'm already looking at my children's feet, my son's feet. Oh Lord, they oh my gosh, the shoe size is gonna be astronomical. It's gonna be astronomical. They finna hop up. They gonna both be over 6 foot. I'm I'm quite I'm quite sure they both gonna be over 6 foot. Oh my gosh. And you telling me I gotta you gonna embarrass me, bruh? My manhood wouldn't let it ride. I'm either walking out or we run fade. I'm walking out or we running fade.
Mind you, there was one donation. This lady previously donated $23,150 with a seed of $2,000. I don't know how that's separate from the other money. With an additional donation of that day of $25,150. So if you don't add in the seed of $2,000, it was $48,300. Mind you, there was another.
If I can't afford to do, first off, it sounds like you ain't hurting. It don't sound like that congregation overall is hurting. The B1 family. Hold on, I'm gonna let her finish, and then we're gonna close out. I'm gonna let her finish because I'm ready to just shut it down and just go by my way and start cussing because these niggas in these congregations. Anyway, sister, go ahead and cook.
One that came in that was anonymous that they put on the letter where they donated $50,000 plus another $1,000 right then and right there. That doesn't include the $1,000, the $10,000, the $5,000, all the other $1,000. But he said, I'm going to get to y'all who donated a little bit later. So what he was upset about is because she didn't add up to $2,000 and got into the $2,000 line. Like, nah, ma'am, get to the back. You didn't do $2,000. So you need to wait for the line that's below the $2,000.
I feel you, sister. Go and take that side. Go and take that side, cause that's B1 family. The church is all but dead because the church mismanaged its ability in the community. It mismanaged the opportunity to feed the community what it needed outside of the spiritual aspect, outside of the social justice aspect, when it had when it had the ball rolling. the desire to be accepted by whiteness and to want to have the wealth that they had and use the community as a pawn to do it greatly hurt its validity. It tarnished, for the most part, tarnished the reputation of the church. You've seen it. I can go to your city. If I go to your city, I go over there in the hood, I'm going to see, if I see one church, all I got to do is make one left and another right, and I'm going to see another one. Another right and another left, I'm going to see another one. Make another right and another right, I'm going to see another one. I'm going to see at least 5 to 6, maybe even 10 church buildings within, what, 2 square miles? Probably not even 2 square miles, probably in a square mile. I'm going to see a gang of churches. I'm not going to see a gang of banks. I'm not going to see a gang of title companies. I'm not going to see a lot of things that white folk use that have in place in their communities so they can get titles for homes and get deeds and stuff for buildings and land. I did a video on this very channel. I rolled through over there off of Camp Bowie in Fort Worth, just on the other side of 30. And boom, it was bank, 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 title company, bank, one big church, bank, bank. Look for another big church, maybe 2 big churches in that area. And then boom, a gang of banks. The church mismanaged this opportunity and be one family. That's not our problem. We're looking forward and onward. Anti-black hate crime bill and reparations. Delineation is the cornerstone for this movement. It's going to help us reach those 2 plateaus, and then we're going to take it from there and rebuild our communities bigger and better. Be one.